Well, things didn't go too well for CR4ZY when it came to their map choice. They did, however, go fantastically for Tricked. Everything they did seemed to work out wonderfully. We never really saw anything on the T side, and going into the CT side, okay, there was a little bit of a moment where they started building into the game, but it was too little too late.
Too little too late. It was a masterclass performance from Tricked. I think potentially the best performance we've seen from any team so far in this tournament. That credit you gotta give. Whereas for CR4ZY, it seemed like, again, it's a team that is riding a wave. Either it's gonna be really, really good, or it's gonna be really, really bad. There's no in-between for these guys. So question is, what version of CR4ZY are we gonna see here being displayed on Vertigo? We saw them play it against Heroic. That wasn't good. That didn't look too comfortable for them.
Well, that was their worst map of the whole tournament, right?
Well, there we go. And they've had a few so far this tournament, so it says a lot. Let's put it that way, but they need to step it up. It's do or die time. Let's not forget to remember the people at home that if CR4ZY were to lose this match, that'll be it. They'll be out of the tournament, finishing 3rd to 4th. And while that is somewhat admirable, it's not enough for a team of this caliber. They are expected to go to the final. Whereas for Tricked, if they win this one, well, they book themselves a place in the final, having not lost a single map so far in this tournament. And by any of the teams, I would say been the most impressive ones so far.
Yeah, for sure. I think every other team has had either some sort of slip-up or some map or match where you go, okay, that wasn't particularly good. Tricked has sort of sailed through it. Like, I don't really feel like they've broken a sweat so far, and considering the caliber of teams, like, that's really impressive. Like, these are teams around, or even some you could say above their level, and it doesn't look like that by any stretch of the imagination. We go into their map choice. It's Vertigo, and it's going to be the T-side star for Tricked.
Let's see what they have in store for us here. Hunting brought up some grenades. Seems like they want to hit this B bomb side, and they're going to do that, and they're going to do that fast. There we go. It's not going to work out though. Auto ships and Emmy combined for 3 in total. And that's how quickly that can go. It's been all but positive things about Tricked so far in this game, but this one, it's not going their way. Aker finding ship through the ceiling here, if you can say so, but that's not enough. They need to find another kill at the very least in order to open up this round. Now it's all about CR4ZY not giving up that kill.
Yeah, the one thing is the defense has had to separate just because they want to make sure that they can cover the other side of the map. Any rotations they make will also be heard. That's one of the good prospects of being underneath. It works the other way around, however, so that's why you can see Tricked are just going to be walking to their new location, which actually seems to be middle. They're going to completely reset the round and just try and make a play in that direction, especially considering there's been a boost up from Emmy for the majority of the round. It's not a bad call.
Not a bad call at all. See if Aker can find something. He's grouping up with his teammate, and there we go. Emmy takes him down with a crisp, clean headshot. Question is Hunten gonna fall down as well? Now Emmy's being taken down to 4 HP. There's a little bit of an opening here for Hunten. This guy coming in from the right, and there we go. It's gonna be Otto, and he's gonna finish up this one for CR4ZY. Good start for the international squad. And I mean, let's be honest. If you're a CR4ZY fan right now, if you want this game to go through 3 maps, you're looking CR4ZY to get off to a good start. You want to see them go up, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds maybe, because I'm sure Tricked has something in store for us in this T side. It is one of those teams that always come in very prepared for a game like this, especially on a new map like Vertigo. Hunten is notoriously known for always adopting new maps into whoever he plays for. It was the same with Overpass back in the days in 2013. He had Cobblestone as well when that was being launched in 14, I believe. His teams was always, you know, some of the best teams in the world on any given map that came out within the first 2 months. So I wouldn't expect it to be any difference going into Vertigo, and that's a problem for CR4ZY. Now we seem to be having some more sound issues here. It's been a theme of this tournament so far, but seems that we are going to be able to resolve them quickly. It hasn't really been that big of a problem, but good start for CR4ZY. That's what we need to see. We need to see them convert on this second round as well, and that's when we can start to build some hope that we can have a competitive game going.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the thing is, like, they were one of the teams, at least in the past, that were somewhat happy to adopt this. And I still feel like, yeah, sure, there have been some teams, like when we saw Heroic play against them, they were able to do some fairly basic stuff on the T side, and then when they needed it, they had the execution. They had the smoke setup where they could just take over the B site. They dominated in that regard. Now, as we say, we expect the same from Tricked, but the difference was there was no one even stepping up remotely. I think Otto was the only one who managed to win them a round or two just with the AWP. Now, if you do get some of the players coming online, some of those setups, some of those plays that you have do become a little bit more difficult. If you've got someone like Ships just charging in and taking your head off within the first 3 seconds of the round, then your setup might get set back. And I think that's what Crazy need to do. They need to do exactly as their name suggests, and maybe not necessarily play a default version of the map,
sure,
but just get super aggressive, take those Angels, if they can then gain the confidence and set Tricked back that little bit and not give them what they had on the last map where they were able to do whatever they wanted.
You want them to be crazy.
Exactly.
You want them to be crazy. Yeah, there we go. And I like that idea. I like that thought process, so to speak. I want to see them do something out of the ordinary as well. I want to see them be hyper aggressive, basically, you know, not give Trick any space, not let Trick play their own game plan, because I think that's you know, something we've been saying quite a few times here. When Trick are allowed to do whatever they want on the map, they have such a fine structure, they have such a good idea of what they want to do and how they want to execute stuff. So if they're being allowed all the space in the world to execute set strats and execute set defaults, then sure thing, Trick is going to win out this game. But if you can put some spanner into that, if you can try to disturb the way they're playing, or at least force them to feel a little bit uncomfortable in taking map control and all that kind of stuff, I think you've come a long way if you're crazy in that sense. So let's see if that's going to be the thing. Trick saving this time around, I like that. No need to invest too much into this one. It's going to be a shooting gallery here. Esperanto and Emmy combining for 1 each. And there we go. Farm some money, Esperanto, get some confidence. You're going to need it, buddy.
Yeah, that's for sure. The other thing I want to ask you, because this is more just me not being sure, did we see them, when they played against Heroic, did they flank once?
No, not really.
Because I remember Down on the T side did it all the time, like literally all the time.
We didn't get to see them play that much on the T side. So.
But even on the CT side, we didn't see them like trying to push in behind, causing any pressure. So you could have those executions just setting up all the smokes and basically taking 45 seconds to go, oh, it's this pixel, not this pixel, because there was no pressure there at all. I think that needs to change.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely agree with you. And we see some pressure coming in straight away here, I think. Emmy's going to push in with his MP9, and this is it. There we go. This is what I was wondering why they didn't do at a single time against Heroic. Take control over this A area with a smoke, with some nades, being aggressive. We didn't see that once happen against Heroic. I like the way they did it. The problem is, Shush, he found a kill over on the B-bomb side. That can't happen. That surely can't happen either. And now we find ourselves in a 5 vs 3. So despite doing something that we've been seeking and we've been asking for throughout this entire tournament, seems to be falling apart anyway for the squad of Crazy. I think that's something they've been practicing, you know, during the night or during yesterday. Because they didn't have that variation of taking A control at all.
Oh my god, it doesn't matter though when you have 4 1v1 duels and all 4 are won by Trick. Different players as well.
Yeah, now it's a big problem, because if this is something they try to implement inside their game plan, you know, let's say yesterday after the game or whenever they saw this VOD and they heard the two of us speaking about it, then if it's not working the first time, there's a minimal chance that they're going to try it again. It's like it's unproven, it's untested. It's not something you've been running in practice 3 or 4 or 5 different times, you know. Maybe you had 1 or 2 games and maybe they just don't feel comfortable doing it. They don't know where to place themselves after they get the initial control. There's so much stuff going into that is not as easy as just, you know, having the right grenades, throwing the right pieces into the puzzle. You have to conduct yourself in the map as well and position yourself where you actually get an advantage out of it. And this time around, definitely didn't work for Crazy. Trick on the board, 2-1, and you can see already now Neil is a little bit, you know, he feels the need to take a timeout 3 rounds into the game. I think the pressure is amounting to Crazy.
Yeah, that's for sure. The thing I will say, though, is when we watched them close out the match yesterday, they took 3 pauses in a row. And so there clearly is something behind what, like, him and whatever's being said in these moments, because that's very uncharacteristic of any team, that you go pause, win round, pause, win round, pause, win round. Like that, I don't think I've seen that many times in Counter-Strike history. So I'm kind of glad to see it early on. They attempted it in the last map. Of course, this is going into another crucial round for them to get off to a strong start, which we both said is very important. Don't allow Trick to do what they want, disrupt their pattern, and who knows, things can change. And they are going to go back to trying this again, which I like to see. It's a good strategy. The only problem for Otto is he now has to try and survive. I really hope that smoke has not gone too far. It looked like it might have done. They're going to nade him out of here. He is getting absolutely slaughtered. I think his teammates are going to try and throw in what little utility they have to save him. I don't know if it would be possible.
No, seems like he's staying alive for now, though. Esperanto in a somewhat decent position to help him out. There we go. Otto goes down. Esperanto finds the refrag, though. Falls back, and interesting to see that he's the one getting the AWP and not Otto. Seems to be the case that Esperanto is just taking charge over this game, telling his teammate, you know what? I'm going to play the AWP now. I'm feeling it. Move back. Sucks for Otto. But I think that's a good sign for Crazy that he's finally, you know, he's finally being an opinionated player and he's actually enabling himself.
Good timing from Lenny round the corner. Can only manage one. He needs his teammates to do some more of the work, and Esperanto is going to go down with that AWP first. Death for him, but ultimately it's more important what happens in the round. Ships is making a late entry into this side with Emmy just trying his best to hide. And Ships is going to need a kill quickly if he's going to have any sort of chance in this round. Bomb is going to be planted. This is his moment to strike. This is his moment to peek. He will drop the man planting the bomb, but Roy will drop him.
Wah, 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 if you're a Crazy fan. 2-2. Got off to a good start. It was looking good. Esperanto, yes, sir. He's been having impact in the beginning, but now they're going to face a situation where they can't afford the big guns. They can't afford absolutely nothing. Esperanto on a deagle, that's about it. Armor's being brought up by him as well. Apart from that, it's going to be a few USPs and a few P250s, I believe. Shouldn't be a problem for Trick whatsoever. And this is again the point where it starts to change. Trick could get the money control if they were to survive 4 or 5 guys in this round. And you don't want to allow that if you're Crazy. But there's nothing you can do to fight it right now. You're limited. You don't have any money. You lost 2 rounds in a row. You just have to accept the consequence and eat the nades. Otto down to 28 AP. It's not really a lot to talk about in this round. At some point, all these players from Crazy are going to go down. Question is, how many of the Trick players can they get with them? Creeps me out that we can't see his weapon.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was an AK up until the point where he hits that shot. I suppose I could have just looked, but that ruins the magic of it. Esperanto. Oh, just managed to get one. Now the rest of the team already well within the B site. Like this is not going to be a round for Crazy. I think that's been made clear from the get-go. But hey, that's an SG found. Can it be an SG saved? Like Esperanto even has the Kevlar behind it. I imagine that he's going to drop this over to Ships. Like that's pretty much his favorite weapon, and I think Esperanto actually prefers either an AWP or the silenced M4. So I imagine we'll see that switch hands, especially considering he has a bit of extra cash. You see Emmy just trying to hold to get anybody on their way out, but not really anything he can do. And it's looking like they are just going to let Esperanto hold on to this.
Yeah, that's going to be a very viable weapon to have in the next round, especially if he is transferring it to Ships, as you talked about. Could be the case. We'll see. I feel like Esperanto, though, he's in a position right now, and I think he just dropped it there. Brought up an AWP as well. No, he's actually taking it back. Dropped an AWP to Otto. Kept the SG himself. I was just about to say, I feel Esperanto right now is in a position where he needs to think about himself, you know. He knows that he's the player that he can take charge over the game. He can be the difference maker. So, yeah, Ships may be good with it, but let me do my job, which is to carry you guys.
Well, Emmy's going to find a very quick kill. That was 10 seconds into the round, so
it's good. Hunting going down as well to 67 HP. Taking a lot of grenade damage here. Gaining some ground, but not something that should worry Crazy at all. Otto as well in a fine position. And Emmy with another kill here. He's being very
we didn't see
aggressive.
That once versus Heroic. Oh, nice shot though coming out of Acor. That will gain them some space elsewhere on the map. And actually, B is completely open. That's, I think, the second time now that we've seen a big stack on the other side of the map and Ships get caught trying to be aggressive. I think if he's the lone member, he can't be doing that. He can't be taking those risks. Letney. Oh, same sort of situation. Caught out and once the smoke fades, and now they are going to have a free reign of the A side. Bomb going to be going down. Still a man lurking on the other side of the map, but ultimately, this is where the battle will happen, and if they don't catch out Acor, there could be a flank. He actually ends up just falling off and dying, so that's going to help them out quite significantly.
What on earth happened right there? That was a very important man to stay alive now. Hunting in a nice little position here, but he's going to be Roy who picks up the first kill. Hunting, if he can get another one here, it's going to be incredibly tough for Crazy to get in. And just misses it, doesn't get the kill. It's all up to Roy. Gets the second one of the round as well for him. Third, actually, that is. Needs to 4K if he wants to win it, and he is going to. There's no time, there's nothing Esperanto can do, and another round on the board for Trick. Despite Aker doing his absolute best efforts of helping Trick by killing himself, they still win the round. What on earth happened? I want to see that.
I think he fell off, like, you know, the stairs in the middle near the spawn.
Sure.
Oh no, it was even here. I didn't even. That's such a low place to fall off. He must have had like 1 HP or something to die from that.
That looked super, super odd with the flash as well. But you know what? That's fine. Doesn't matter. They won the round anyway. And once again, we look at a crazy team who bought an AWP to Esperanto. But apart from that, there's no money in this lineup. Few deagles, few grenades, some armor on some of the players. But again, Trick seems to be in complete control over this game. I don't feel, you know, it was the same situation with Dust 2. There was a moment in the beginning of the game where you thought to yourself, all right, this can swing in the favor of Crazy, but slowly but surely Trick just takes control over it. It's basically like they're playing Counter-Strike right now. They don't take any risks, so coordinated, so sure of what they're doing, and it just seems to be creeping out everyone they play against.
And they found certain points around this map where they can pretty much have a duel and win it every time for free. Like this is one of them. Just down that left side after going up the stairs. I don't think they've lost a duel there once. And I think the way you can be testament to that is the fact that Letney plays there and he's only got 1 kill. So it just like, it needs to be something that either Crazy actively try and fight it or just leave it and try and like play it in a different way. Because at the moment they're just getting wrecked over that side. Esperanto, he's gonna miss. Gives them a lot of space to get forward into his position. Ships is going to be a bit of a distraction. Runs in, hits one with the Deagle. Esperanto, though, his support is gone, and this rotation being held off by Bubsky leaves just Letney and Ships so desperately low on the site. He's going to go down. Rotation may be caught, but Letney gives away his position. He's dying straight afterwards. 5-2 in favor of Tricked. Again, I think a lot of these rounds get to a point where I go, okay, they could win. But I just feel like within like the storm, within the calm, there is Tricked. They never seem to break a sweat. They never seem to like make mistakes, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because most teams do. Even like teams we've seen throughout the tournament playing very well, like Forza playing decent earlier in the day, they still made a load of mistakes along the way.
Sure did. I think Trick right now is a very composed team. Once again with Roy, he just walks up and kills Ships. He's been having a hard time so far on this B bomb site. Hasn't been able to be the Ships that we know him to be, sitting in 3 frags, 7 death. He's supposed to be one of the best performers, not only for Crazy, but potentially on the entire server. Hasn't been the case so far. And I agree with you. I think the composure being showed by Trick right now is so good. I mean, I hate to sound so happy and overly positive about it, you know, considering...
Danish.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to be, you know... charged with the term bias, but right now they are playing some of the best Counter-Strike we've seen so far in this tournament, and that gotta be said, you know. The composure is good. The pace is, you know, it's not necessarily too slow, but it's not fast either. It's just, they're playing Trick Counter-Strike. And it seems to be working just fine for them.
Well, once again, they're gonna make their way back to this A site. Need 2 defenders remaining, and I don't know how they're going to hold on to this one. As I said, Otto was one of the performers previously when they played this map to at least throw something in.
At least do something.
They're going to be back in this same spot once again. As I said, this time it seems like it's been abandoned by the CT side because it's been lost so many times. But even still, Letney can't get anything. It's left onto Otto to try and hold on. Esperanto does find a kill on the Lurker at least, which gives them an opportunity, but Otto can't go down. Nice shot to at least get the man close. Esperanto finds another, and peek up from Otto. It's all the orbs. 5 kills between them, and a 3rd round on the board.
I think that was the first time we saw Trick losing a little bit of that composure. Otto sitting in the corner, they knew where he was, and just a single guy from Trick running in there, you know, all by himself, hoping not to get shot down.
Is that the first time we've seen Otto with an AWP?
I think so as well, yeah. The double AWP setup proved to be strong here for Crazy. It's good to see them win this one, but again, that timeout coming out was the same exact scenario last time around. They win a round, they take a timeout. They know this is going to be super, super important. One thing is having a proficient working double AWP setup, but you also got to be able to afford it. And if they were to lose this round, well, we're going to be back in a scenario where having 2 AWPs in your CT side, that's going to be incredibly tough to find the founds for. Some beautiful shots by Otto, though.
I do wonder with these pauses though, like could it be counterintuitive? You've just won a big round. You clearly your players are feeling it at that moment, and then you go, right, now let's sit here for 30 seconds. Like it could work both ways. Like maybe you calm them down a bit, but at the same time, do you want to calm them down a bit? I would rather just have Otto just wrecking people, and he does die straight away. I'm not going to say that's anything to do with the pause, but something to think about at least.
Definitely an argument to be made about that, but I guess it depends on what the team prefers and how they adopt that culture within the pauses. Now Letney's had a rough game so far. He needs to stand tall. At the very least, get one kill here and get some information. Can't go down without getting a kill, and gets spotted down and gets pushed away, 42 HP. They're toying around with Letney right now. He's not getting a lot of backup either. It's all on him, you know. He's by himself a lot of the time, which is incredibly tough to be, but you gotta be able to stand tall. Otherwise, it's gonna be too easy for Trick now. Backup is coming in, Esperanto with an up. Just saw how they worked out before. Smoke's flying in from Trick and Molotov as well, and now they're being pushed out of the bomb site. Bomb goes down. Nothing they can do about it. Maybe a boost here can find a way back into this round. It's not gonna work out, really. Wasn't pre-planned. Now Bobsky with the invisible gun, and he's gonna make work with it together with Roy. A trade frag goes down, 3 versus 3 still. Decent amount of utility on ships. Maybe that can be useful, but they need to find the kills.
Ships does manage at least to get one. Again, it's one of the first times we've actually seen a flank attempted. Bobsky just looking to try and bait them in. He gets both headshots as well. Another big play coming out from him, and well, a 6th round onto the board, and as you mentioned, they want double orbs. They can't even afford one.
Nope. No money, no funny. That's what they always say. At least that's what I say. How I live my life. Anyway, it's going to be tough for Crazy. Once again, they're putting themselves in a rough position. They are not buying up this round. They bought armor on all the players. Max 7 on ships. We've seen that plenty of times this tournament. Deagles and a grenade on each of the players. The smokes can be good, especially in a round like this. You can delay the terrorist ever so much with these smokes. But there's a long way from delaying people to actually winning a round where you technically had no business winning, considering the weaponry available to the Crazy guys. Once again, Trick, they're just taking this A-hole control as much as they want to. We saw them once, and I said it. We saw we saw Crazy one time trying to contest it. We saw them go in with flash and smokes and actually fight it. It didn't work out, and ever since they haven't dared to do it again. I think they have to. I think they need to put pressure on Trick. I said it in the beginning of the game as well. If you're allowing Trick to play their game and do whatever they want on the map, their executes are so strong and so coordinated that you're gonna lose out. You gotta put some disturbance into it. You gotta be a pity, so to speak. Gotta be annoying. If you can't do that, you're not gonna win against Trick. Esperanto going down to Bobsky as well. Having another great game here.
Ship's now about to be pressured. 40 seconds left on the clock as they looked around that corner, completely overwhelmed. In fact, every entry goes the way of Tricked. 5 players alive. A chance for them to build up the bank, which Crazy came so close to actually breaking. And now, well, Otto, 1v5. What do you think?
Either that or killing Console was my initial thoughts. Trick going up again now. Crazy. More money in the bank, obviously, but we're getting to a point again where I'm thinking, if I'm Crazy, I want at least 6 or 7 rounds on the CT side. And time is running out. Only 5 rounds to be played out here, and let's be honest, we've seen it work once with the double op setup. That's about it. Roy being aggressive towards this B-bomb side against hit. Very close to go down one more time. He has really struggled to keep a presence over here, sitting at 4 frags, 9 death, 51 ADR. It's not a lot for a guy that I consider to be, yeah, maybe one of the bigger talents within the European pool. Definitely one of the carries of this team. Hasn't really been so far. Otto in a good position there, and he has backup from Letney. This time around, they're gonna challenge this A push. They're not gonna give Trick all the space in the world, and I like that.
I think they need to. The way that things have been going so far, but Roy's so sick with the entry. A trade back from Lenny, he needs to try and get away. He gets another kill at least. He's done the minimum. Keep it a 2-for-2 trade.
That's okay.
Emmy has rotated in. Esperanto here with him. They've at least bought some time. Counter utility being expended. The T's still having more, but SB's going to try and play off. He's still getting burned, though. He burns all the way down. A bit unlucky with the spread. Now Emmy has to try and fight this back on his own. His teammate's still so far behind. The second one for the in-game leader, too. But it's Bubsky once again. I don't think Tricked would take anyone else in this scenario. He's been so good so far. Goes looking to see if there's anybody in on the flank, but there isn't to be. And he can even go back around, get another angle onto the bomb. This new avenue, which has been added into the map. He has a singular flashbang, but he's just going to go peeking. Spots the first and the second as well. He makes it look so damn easy.
He is so good. He is so good right now.
Almost as good as you in your prime?
Almost. Well, let's be honest. No one from Denmark was close. Maybe Device. Maybe Device. There we go. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about Bubsky. Let's talk about how good this kid is. I mean, that cut right there, again, it's so calm. He has an idea, he has a plan, and he executes it. And you know what? He had no business winning it, but he did it anyway. Putting some more pressure on towards Crazy. That was a round they needed desperately. Down 8-3 now. Again, just deagles and armor. A few smokes. That's about it. I like the fact that they tried to contest A-halls again. Otto, I would say, was a little bit unlucky getting absolutely destroyed by Roy. I think that's not going to happen twice in a row. I think that was an insane entry frag. So again, I hope they don't stay away from that. I see that as, you know, that's one of the only things they can do in order to take away some space from Tricked. Do it again, make it work, force it. Because you're left with no option unless you want to lose. I'm not going to speak on their behalf, but I think Crazy losing is not something they're into.
It's not fun.
Nah. Well, I guess if you are a loser, per definition, then...
Just stop. Leave him alone.
Okay.
Just a few pistols in this round. It's going to have to be those YOLO plays, the runs through the smokes, the attempts to just find a kill, as the smoke wall has just been ruining them. The amount of times that's been utilized by Tricked and the amount of times it's been successful. And they're even going to win it out flawlessly as well. Again, the money is booming. Tricked are leading by a massive margin. 9-3.
They sure are, and we haven't even seen anything out of the ordinary from Tricked. They do a default, they get map control towards A, and then they do an A execute. They've done that, what, 5 or 6 times. A few times they went towards the B bomb side, mainly in anti-ecos, but that's it. It's not like we've seen any sick execute coming out of Tricked, something we haven't seen before. They're not really being forced into a position where they have to reinvent themselves. It's simple, and now it's going to be an A rush again, not contested by anyone. Let me in a decent position here. If they don't check it out, Otto get the opening kill, and maybe this is it. Maybe Tricked is staying away from what worked for them. At least Otto get the opening kill. Esperanto with another one finds Hunden, and there we go. For the first time, Crazy in a good position to close out this round. Don't mess it up. Eddie with another one, and there we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, much better. Acorn tries to do a bit of damage, of course, for the tees. The money, not really an issue, especially with how late into the half we are. 9-4. I think Crazy is a minimum need to get the last couple of rounds.
Sure they do, and this is going to be so easy to predict now, right? If you're Crazy, you know that Tricked have been running a default every single buy round. They've been running it every single time. Now, if the one time they tried not to do a default, they tried to play fast, it didn't work. Tricked is 100% going to go back to what worked for them. So you know you got to deal with that default once again. Let's see if that's going to mean that they're going to contest this A-halls. They're going to change up in the play. I sincerely hope so. Letney in a forward position. Here we go.
Well, yeah, this was something we mentioned, saying actively take that position away.
Yes, exactly, and that's what they're doing right now. Tricked with a different variation of the default. Roy going down, and here we go once again. Much better from Crazy. Much better.
Yeah, finally also forcing Tricked to make a play into middle. That's where Esperanto's been playing. There's a reason he's not died anywhere near as many times as the rest of his team, and it's because mid really hasn't been challenged. He's been on the rotate a lot of the time and forced into a save a couple near the beginning. Shush has managed to get quite far forward. Now, they've known for a fact that this has mostly been a solo play. And it is Ships once again. 4-11, one of the worst performances we've seen from him. But this will be a time to step up. Surviving in the corner. Peeks out, gets a second as well. A big play from Ships. Finally, he joins the party. It's hot over there. There's still 2 players to deal with. And one of them they've struggled with is Bubsky. Peak going to be coming out, but nobody facing at this point from Crazy. I think they know how important this round is going to be. They can't afford to Shift feeling confident, even knowing where Acor is going to be facing from. And they win that one flawlessly. Very late into the half, but it could be that confidence booster.
Could be the start of something new. Could be the start of a comeback.
The start of something special.
Wow, yeah. Let's not do all the Disney references, but another great round from Crazy. Great play by Ships. Been saying he's been having a rough time so far, and he has, but this round was definitely not rough for him. Got a nice triple kill. And another round on the board for Crazy. Once again, we see this A pressure coming in from Tricked, and yes, sir, Crazy. They're doing the right thing. Not letting me having all the space they want in the world. Otto once again contesting the one. This time around, he goes down to Hunton. That's a nice entry frag. Only his second kill in the entire game so far. Guess it's been enough, though. And now we see them re-aggress. It's going to be Letney. He's going to go down together with Emmy. And that is just Hunton single-handedly winning the round for Chick. Up until this point, he was at 1 frag in 14 rounds. Well, guess it doesn't matter. Because he just single-handedly won another round for Trick. And that's going to be 10-5. Unless something crazy is going to transpire here. Esperanto, Ships, 2 best players from that lineup. Dare I say it, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Acre takes down Ships, and now all Esperanto can hope for is a few stat padding kills.
Yeah, that's all he's going to get, already losing so much HP on the first duel to Bubsky. Bomb ticked way too far gone, and the end to a great half from Tricked. 10-5 scoreline. They lead themselves towards that final, but we got one more half to see if Crazy can bring it back. This could be it for Crazy. A 5-round half on the CT side of Vertigo, a map that they really struggled on when playing it previously. We didn't get to see much of their T side, but they've got a little bit more of a buffer than they did last time. Look at those odds. I'm not surprised at this point. They lost their map. They're losing this one. Something has to change, and it has to change now.
You're not wrong, Tom. You're definitely not wrong. Question is, what can you change if you're Crazy? You need a good start. You need the pistol round, first of all. And then you need Ships to have some more impactful rounds. I mean, it is a team that relies on individuals to step up. So let's see if they can do that. Bubsky getting some information here. It seems like they're not going to explode just yet, but slowly but surely gaining some ground here. And Acor in a very upfront position as well. There's not going to be a Molotov to force him out. There's a smoke and there's a flash on Emmy, and that's it. Now Bubsky walks in, gets the first kill, and this is not the start you hope for if you're Crazy. Come on. Make this game competitive. Get this round under the belt. Put some pressure onto Trick. Otherwise, it's going to be it. You're going to be out. You're going to be going home. That's not going to be fun.
Esperanto looking like he's about to meet Roy, who's been one of the star performers in this map, in this match. Going to need to do work on the split as the rest of the players look to go in. Shush ready and waiting, and there's 2 peaks now on the bomb gone. Roy wins his battle versus Espy as well and leaves just Emmy and Otto to try and fight this pistol back. And it is not happening. There is only Otto remaining, a 1 versus 4. So many angles to check. He gets the first, but that is all. 11-5 in favor of Tricked, leading the way forward in this matchup. 5 rounds is all they need to get to make it to the final.
Starting to look real tough for Crazy. Again, I'd advise them to force into this round. See if they can somehow win it, destroy Trick's economy. Exactly what they're doing as well. Actually, they're saving, okay. This is the first time I think I've seen Crazy not force into it. I hope that means that they have confidence in the game plan on the team side. Only invested a few deagles into this round, no armor. A few of the guys kept their Glocks as well, so it's going to be a relatively easy round for Trick, which means that roughly 30-45 seconds from now, we should be seeing the scoreline 12-6, 12-5, that is actually. Maybe I spoke too soon, which is something I have a bad habit of doing, but there we go. Emmy, what a great opening on Shush. Still though, it takes more for them to win this round. Letney walking around with a beautiful Glock, but just because it's gold doesn't mean that it hits harder, unfortunately.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works, Tom.
Oh, I spent so much money for nothing.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. plenty of guys out there who's as clever as you are now.
Skin equals win. We all know that.
Of course, of course. Roy, though, maybe not the most beautiful skin he's wearing right here, but he's in a good position with his MP9. So is Acor getting a kill towards Otto. That nade, that's gonna hurt. Ships taking down Echo though. This is starting to get a little bit dangerous now. If Roy goes down without a kill here, that could be it. He will not though. Stays alive, gets a second one as well. Beautiful from Roy. There comes the backup from Bubsky as well. And just as it was starting to look like Crazy had a chance of stealing away a round they had absolutely no business being part of, Roy shut him down.
Yeah, at least another one will be dropped. They've made this very costly, especially going into what will be their buy round, and he tries it. He tries to make his way bouncing through the window, but it is going to be a 12-5 scoreline. But this is where we need to see the rise of Crazy. Like, this has to be a streak. They have got themselves a much better buy than their opponent. Sure, utility is going to be limited, but weaponry-wise, a massive advantage.
Look at that facial expression coming out from Neil right there. That's a man who knows that if they don't win this round, could very well be game over. They need to. SGs on the board, 3 of those. 3 AKs. Not a lot of utility. It has to be the duels again. It has to be the individual skill that powers through. Emi walks up through the smoke and maybe he can catch a player off guard. He's trying at least. But they fell away, fell back. There we go. That's gonna hurt Emi down to 38 HP, but they're gonna explode into this bomb site now. No. Starting to fall back. He was so close to pull the trigger right there. Didn't do it anyway, and now they rotate all the way back. And again, there's no utility. There's a single smoke, a single Molotov on Chips, a single flash on Emi, and that's it. Grenade is not going to do much for Letny. Now it has to be the duels. They have to find them, and they have to win them. Bubsky here, though, isolated. If you shoot out, buddy, there we go. Well, I'd call him a cheater if that was online.
Yeah, excuses. A-Core, he's going to get caught as well on the way back. And as said, this was definitely the weaker purchase based off how many they lost. They're getting slaughtered. Hunden needs another big round, and it isn't going to come. And Shush, well, he gets one for his money. But it is going to be a stick at least for Crazy.
They live to fight another day. Nice round. They knew what they had to do. No utility, no nothing. You just have to walk up, and you have to take the duels, and you have to win them, and that's exactly what they did. In the defense of Trick, this was a bonus round. They didn't upgrade the guns. There's a few SMGs, a few MP9s and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is where I would start to criticize Trick for one of the first time. There's absolutely no reason to force into this round. I know your money is not good, but please do not go in here, right? I know that you're in a comfortable position. You're leading 12-6. It's a small risk. I know that. It's still a long game, but there's no reason to force into this round whatsoever. Hunton goes down as well.
Okay.
Roy making up for it, though. And I don't even care if Trick ends up winning this round. You know, that's where I would like to see them just play it cool. You're so much better right now. You're a better team. You're better organization. You're better at everything right now in terms of Counter-Strike. Yet you still decide to buy into this round. I'm not a fan personally, but I guess you can justify it. Let's talk more about it. Let's focus on the round. Crazy upper man. Should be relatively easy for them to finish this one out. They're facing a Deagle, a Scout, and a CC.
Yeah, they dropped the one weapon that was actually managed to be retrieved. And I like the fact that Otto is actually just looking to cover this off.
Of course, yeah.
So if anybody does go looking for it, you've got to be careful, because A-Core was just out of shot. Looking like they might even go wrapping back around. They've got to be careful up close. And actually, I don't really know how Shush gets away with that. That's going to be a kill, and the bomb dropped, and AK picked up as well. This could be a throwaway round for Crazy, as this has started to look quite dodgy. Shush still waiting. He gets his third already and leaves just Ships remaining. How in this fallen flat? I don't understand, but it is. Completely falls apart.
I think I'll just be quiet from now on. It doesn't matter. I still definitely don't agree with that decision, but when you're pulling it off like that, especially Shush right there, that timing of the smoke, we're talking a millisecond later, and he would have been dead. He wouldn't have gotten that kill, and it would have been game over. It would have been round over, sorry. There would have been no chance they could win that. Instead, he gets the first kill, he picks up an AK, and gets an additional 2. Again, some individual brilliance from Shush, but also, dare I say the word luck right there. That was so close of him going down without doing anything whatsoever. So all the small things are blowing the way of Trick as well right now, and that's sometimes what you need if you're a top team, which I'm entitled to say Trick are by now. Even when you're not doing the right thing, even when you're not making the right decisions all the time, you make it work somehow anyway. And that's also a nice quality to have. I'm really impressed with this lineup right now, I gotta say. Coming into the tournament, I thought them being in a semi-final, that would be a huge success. Them going to a final, that would be a little bit too much to ask for, but Seems like they're waiting and waiting for it. Roy with a double kill again, and they are booking their spot in the final right about now. Crazy down 2 man. It's going to be 14-6 unless they can pull it off. They cannot. It's Letni 1 against 5. It's been 20 seconds. It took 20 seconds for Trick to win this round. It's too much, Tom. I can't handle it.
It's off the back of Roy again. He really is that diamond almost. We spoke about a diamond in the rough before, but he looks like he's come into this team. He's been molded, and he's been someone who, as said, before this team, didn't know too much about him, but really has been having high impact frags. Letni at least doing some damage, but Bubsky's going to be there to get that trade, find the rifle, and well, now for Crazy, they have pretty much a catch-22. Do they force him with a shoddy buy, or do they play for 9 rounds in a row?
Sometimes when I'm faced with such a situation, I ask myself, what would Tom Bismeier do?
And then you do the opposite, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case, because I don't normally make the right
Look at that ACOG just rushing into it.
Okay.
There we go. He wants to finish it up now. I mean,
he likes falling over there, doesn't he?
The sooner they finish this game, the sooner the final will start. I guess that's something you can argue. In this case, again, they're just being left with no choice at all. Crazy, 2 guys alive. One of them is Esperanto with almost 100 HP and a deagle. Missing that little opening he had right there for getting a kill. But yeah, it's tough to see how on earth they're going to get back into this game. I haven't seen anything at all that suggests that Crazy have the abilities to pull off 9 rounds in a row. Neither have I seen anything that suggests that Trick is going to fall flat at any time soon. It's been a convincing semi-final so far for Trick. Absolutely brilliant performance from all the players. And now the face match point, 15-6. Crazy, this is it. It's do or die time. For the viewers unaware, loser of this map, go home. Winner books a spot inside the final, if that is Trick, which is most likely it's going to happen. At
this point as well, you can't say anything about them not deserving it. Like, they have been phenomenal all the way through. They'll face off again.
I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking if I had to criticize Trick, I think there's a few occasions, maybe 1 or twice, where they made a decision I wouldn't necessarily agree with, and I think both of those times it ended up working for them anyway.
Yeah.
So if that's all you can find in an entire series against a team like Crazy, that's crazy. I mean, we just saw Guardian play against the Force, and I think both of those teams made, enough mistakes in just 1 map to say that that's not going to be able to compete against Trick in a final. So they'll have to step it up, Force, that is, if Trick were to book a spot in the final later today. It's really been impressive to see that the Danes have been playing so well throughout the entire series, and there's not been a single point where they lost control over the game, or where it has felt like Crazy actually stood a chance of fighting the way back.
Yeah, even felt under pressure, and considering that even though they now seem like an established team, like even when they were in V4, they looked exactly the same. Like, it just seems like they have that composure, and that's something that I don't think you can particularly teach. It's just something that these players seem to have, an early trade. Bubsky, he really wants to get this done. He's got to be careful. There's another player, maybe overfaced a little bit there. They still have a decent advantage into this one, although utility is fairly bare. They've got a couple of smokes. A minute 30. Otto coming around the corner. Acor with an uncharacteristic miss, but he'll make up for it in the end. Keeps himself going. In fact, even looking for a little bit more. Has to be careful. He even gets another shot. He wants to be the man to end this. He's not quite going to finish off Letni. In fact, Letni looks to fight it back. 1 versus 2, doesn't quite manage it. It's Hunden to close things out and send Trick into the grand final. An absolutely dominant performance, dropping 13 rounds over 2 maps. They have deserved this. And, well, yet to lose a map within this tournament. I dare say they look like the favorites now.
They sure do. As said before, this has been an absolute brilliant performance by Trick. Every single player had impact. Bubsky and Dust 2, very, very well playing. Same can be said for Acor, same can be said for all the players. We even saw Hunden do a triple K opening here on Vertigo. It looks like right now to me the Trick, unless they somehow, fall short in that final, somehow the nerves get to them, then it will have to be Force stepping it up if they want to contest Trick. There's no doubt that they're the favorites coming into this one. There's no doubt they have been the best playing team at this tournament so far. And as you said, the composure coming out from Trick right now, it's super, super impressive. These are not some experienced players that's been doing this, over 5 years or 6 years. These are relatively new guys on a big stage. Doesn't seem like it. They're just powering through every single time.
Yeah, no, been incredibly impressed, and I'm sure the guys over at the decks are feeling exactly the same. All of them predicting correctly. Potter even breaking her curse.
Yeah.
Well done, Potter. I didn't know you were a witch. Bewitching all...
Well, you know, Harry Potter.
Oh, hey.
All right.
Yeah, that is a scary-looking trick. I mean, if anything, I feel like it's safe to say that after that performance, we can very well expect a new DreamHack Open winner to be hitting the, to be hitting the trophy.
Yeah, it does feel like they deserve that space of favorite, right? I mean, the fact and how they just disposed of their opponent, they were so in control. And I think that the caster said it right. At no point in that game did it feel like CR4ZY had even a say in it. They were merely surviving. Sometimes they would get some rounds, sure, because individually speaking, they have some talent. But when you would compare the game plan, they were not even in the same league. It felt like Trick completely outclassed them, and then they are poised to take the trophy, in my opinion.
Exactly, and what a performance specifically coming out of Roy. I know you mentioned, Matthew, before the game that he's a 26-year-old, but he's a new kid on the block. And not only is he a new kid on the block, he's filling the shoes of Borup. And those are some big shoes to fill. Borup was certainly a superstar on this lineup before his departure to the heroic side of things. And yeah, Roy, I mean, just thinking about on this Vertigo specifically in that middle area, he's just hiding behind the box, waiting for his mates to come back him up. Usually, you know, when you're that eager and you want to prove yourself, you want to get the frags, you want to pump up your stats, but Roy, he's playing for the team, he's playing for the win, he's playing for those high percentages, and I love that.
Yeah, well, it's really good that you're talking about him now, Potter, because we actually have Roy standing by with another winner's interview. Buddy, you've done it. You've got yourself into the grand finals of a DreamHack Open.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Feels amazing.
Great. You guys want to open with a question?
Yeah, I've actually got one. Roy, I noticed that you tweeted yesterday that you were feeling a little jittery, the land jitters, you're trying to get used to that and trying to get used to this big stage. How did you feel today? What did you do to get so prepared?
Well, I played like 2 hours of DM before the match, so I'm like I did everything that I could to like be sure that I could perform, and because I have a few problems with like anxiety and stuff on the scene because my whole career has been going really fast, and I'm not really used to these big stages yet. So, but today I don't know what happened, but because in the beginning I didn't really feel like I belonged there, like, but it
you
worked
didn't
out.
look nervous at all. I mean, you look like you totally belonged in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, congratulations on your performance and the win.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you, did you expect that to be so easy? Because for us, it looked like you guys were not even in the same league. I thought this was going to be a close game, but you outclassed them.
So actually, we were actually pretty happy with the veto, but we expected them to pick us too, and like our dust 2 have been really shaky lately, but we've been practicing it a lot, and we've had some focus on some new things, and today it worked really well, and our communication was like on point, and we had a really good expectation of how they were going to play, and everything was just working out in our favor, so it was really good. Okay,
I've got one more question for you. Was the Vertigo pick pre-planned before you guys came into this tournament, or was that something Hunden wrapped together yesterday because he saw CR4ZY's performance on Vertigo yesterday?
It was like kind of an ace up our sleeve. We have like no matches on Vertigo, and we have been practicing it a bit, and it worked really good in practice. And so we were just waiting for the right moment that someone would let us pick it. And we saw as well yesterday Heroic against CR4ZY, and they were shaking a bit on Vertigo. So we just saw a chance, and we picked it here, and it was really good.
All right, one last question for me before I let you go. When we talk about Trick and kind of the rise that you guys have been going through, I think a lot of the conversation falls on guys like Acor and Bubsky, and we know we can talk about Hunden because he's had many projects like this. No offense, but you have flown under a lot of people's radar. And I would say, especially after today's interview and yesterday's interview and your performance too, I feel like my eyes have been drawn towards you, Roy. I just want to say, is that important to you? Do you feel the need to be kind of with your name up in the lights?
I mean, of course it feels nice, but I don't really like need it. I didn't expect like people to recognize me because I mean my whole team is like consistent of really good players. I mean Bubsky and Acor are like really good. So it's kind of hard for me to shine through that. But I mean it's fine for me. I don't really need it. So as long as we win, I'm just really happy. And as long as we play like a team and we have a good atmosphere, it's just a dream for me.
Amazing.
All right, good man. Well, listen, you've got time before the grand finals gets going. Take a deep breath, shake those jitters out, and realize it's one BO3 away from lifting another trophy, man. So get ready for it, all right, Roy?
Thank you.
Yeah. There we go.
Cool guy.
Cool guy. Very
Yeah,
nice.
I kind of like
Again,
his energy.
Added to the tally of well-spoken players that,
Yes.
that just give a good interview.
He has the stars in his eyes, right? Because sometimes some players, I think that we get used to how lucky we are, the stage, the people watching us, you know, the cash prize, everything. But when you talk to Roy, it feels like he's still extremely excited about everything, and I like that energy. I think it's very candid.
All right, well, listen, we're going to go ahead and give it quits here. We've got about 35 minutes before the grand finals pre-show gets going, about 55 minutes until the actual final starts. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great weekend of Counter-Strike, but it's not done yet. A single BO3 separates us from the trophy lift. It's going to be fours or it's going to be tricked, and that answer only comes in about an hour. So we will see each and every one of you there. Don't go too far.